it's always a few students who, who have it, and then it's also, it's different students who have different questions and different concerns. So I know one of them is disclosing your disability. So that's been one big topic. It's just, do you automatically say that you have a disability, this is your disability, or do you just express your disability when the job doesn't, requires you to. So say, for example, a person that is blind, so if they're doing, if they have an assistant, they will need to know, that is a physical, you can see that they're blind. So that is something. So say if you have, you have a speech impediment, so let me give an example. I can do examples. So another student, I'm just gonna call him CJ. And so he has a hard time when he get nervous. He basically switches up his words, and sometimes he stutters. And so, but he don't look at himself as having a disability. And so, his question is, do he let them know, or when to let him know, how to let him know? So then more of the questions that we're getting, like, when do we let our employers know that we have a disability? And then also some is, if they have not had a job, that they have work, will that hinder them from getting a job? So it's those questions as well. It's like, okay, I know you have to have work experience, but if I don't have work experience, is it basically saying like, I don't need to do this? Then, so it's just working through that. And, with the school experience, okay, even though that you don't have a degree yet, you still need to fill out a job application and let them know, you are going to school. It's not like you just leave everything out.
One kind of big area of discussion is the decision to disclose your disability or not. When and should you do it? And I know from the support coordinator perspective, one of the challenges can be on the monitoring end of things. If the individual has not disclosed to the employer, when it comes time to follow up with that individual around their employment situation, are they getting the necessary supports? Are the supports in place? Are they continuing to be effective? It can be difficult for that support coordinator to know if it's going to be okay to even go to that person's place of work to check. They don't want to tip the hand, they don't want to reveal anything. So it does seem to be a very kind of individual and kind of gray area. Do you have any just thoughts on when and if a person should disclose, or does it depend on maybe the disability itself?
Well, during the application phase, there is a requirement for that information to be disclosed. I can say
okay.
that. Now, I want to also say that employers who promote and support a diverse work environment are looked upon very highly in the community and public in general. A diverse work environment is not just about race, but it's also having multiple age groups in your workforce. It's also bringing in veterans. And of course, it includes individuals with disabilities. Some companies are awarded contracts for having such a diverse workforce, or accommodating a certain workforce. So that's something to consider. I definitely feel that it's not something to hide because of that. It can actually be a win-win for both parties because of what business is gained from having a diverse workforce. So I think that's something to consider. Also, I want to just express that the Americans with Disability Act is a civil rights law that prohibits discrimination, as you know, against individuals with disabilities, which basically means that an employer cannot discriminate a qualified individual just based on a disability. So I would definitely encourage folks to share that information because it actually can turn in their benefit. And there's certain information that the hiring manager is not privy to about an employee's background or disability or age, things like that. It's information that's confidential in the employee's background in HR. So also keep that in mind. It's not something that's just freely shared with anyone within the company about a particular person's information. So that's something to think about, consider.
Thank you. That's really helpful and a different perspective than what I've gotten so far. So I really like your emphasis on the win-win aspects of, you know, employers promoting diversity and inclusivity, and employees not being afraid to, you know, be upfront about
Absolutely.
their needs and their situation. And it really, I think it's interesting too to think of it from maybe the support coordination perspective of the need and to maybe do more outreach directly to employers around
Absolutely.
those benefits and kind of building those bridges and those relationships instead of all of it resting on the employee to kind of
Absolutely.
forge that path, so to speak.
Absolutely. I would definitely say if case managers can partner with organizations that really believe in their mission and want to support and make a difference, that is definitely the best path to go. Because like you said, it takes some of the stress and burden off of the employee, and it's a relationship. And it's something that the employer can then promote to say, well, we work with this organization for these for this program, and it definitely is a positive for them. So shifting that mindset to understand what is it for them? I mean, what benefit is it for this organization to partner with us? You know, and not just, oh, I'm so happy to have this opportunity with you, but they're gaining something as well.